Every era in automotive history has that one machine that dared to look past the present. A car that seemed to come from another decade entirely. Picture a vehicle that seemed to glide more than drive, that combined the artistry of fine design with the kind of technology usually reserved for airplanes. It was sophisticated, ambitious, and perhaps too confident for its time. This was not just a car. It was a rolling experiment in how far human imagination could push mechanical reality. Yet, for all its brilliance, it faced challenges no one saw coming. It asked what it really means for a machine to be ahead of its time, and what it costs when vision exceeds the world around it. Stay tuned as we dive deep into one of the most remarkable stories in automotive history. And if you enjoy these explorations of design and ambition, remember to like, subscribe, and let us know which car we should cover next. The Citroën SM1970 arrived in a world fascinated by speed, style, and innovation. Europe was on the move. Highways stretched across the continent, and grand touring had become a statement of modern confidence. Yet while others focused on brute power or predictable luxury, Citroën aimed for something profoundly different. The Citroën SM1970 was conceived as a synthesis of French engineering elegance and Italian mechanical passion. A car that could cover long distances quickly, quietly, and with composure unlike anything else on the road. Its very existence represented the boldest expression of Citroën's philosophy that technology could redefine comfort, control, and the human relationship with motion itself. To understand how the Citroën SM1970 came to be, we have to look back at Citroën's identity in the post-war years. This was a brand obsessed with progress, known for daring solutions where others played it safe. The DS had already shaken the automotive world with its fluid lines and hydro-pneumatic suspension, floating over roads where competitors bounced and rattled. But by the late 1960s, Citroën wanted more than comfort. It wanted prestige. The French automaker's acquisition of Maserati in 1968 was not an act of vanity. It was a calculated step to blend the heart of a high-performance Italian Grand Tourer with the cerebral calm of French engineering. The Citroën SM1970 was the first fruit of that union. The design process for the Citroën SM1970 started with a question. What would happen if the serenity of a DS met the heartbeat of a Maserati? The result was a shape so aerodynamic it barely looked like a car. Robert Opron's design featured a long tapering hood, a sharply angled windshield, and a calm-tail rear that reduced drag and improved stability at high speeds. The front end, with its enclosed glass housing for 6 headlights, was both futuristic and functional. The inner pair swiveled with the steering to illuminate curves. Every surface of the Citroën SM1970 was sculpted for a purpose. Its drag coefficient was a remarkable 0.26, placing it among the most efficient production cars of its time. Under the hood, the Citroën SM1970 carried the Maserati V6 engine, a compact and lively power plant that balanced performance with refinement. Displacing 2.7 liters, it produced roughly 170 horsepower, enough to push the car past 135 miles per hour. This was not about raw acceleration. It was about seamless speed. The hydro-pneumatic suspension, shared with the DS, adapted instantly to changing road surfaces, maintaining level height regardless of load or terrain. The result was a car that could cross a continent with uncanny smoothness, keeping occupants isolated from imperfections yet connected to every curve. Driving the Citroën SM1970 was a study in contrasts. The steering was powered by a system called Diravi, which automatically centered the wheel and adjusted effort based on speed. At low speeds, the wheel could be turned with a finger. At high speeds, it firmed up for stability. To first-time drivers, it felt alien, almost alive. The brakes, controlled by a pressure-sensitive mushroom-shaped pedal, required precision rather than force. Once mastered, the car responded with fluid grace, as if anticipating the driver's intent. Citroën was not just building a car, it was teaching people a new way to drive. Inside the Citroën SM1970, the theme of futuristic comfort continued. The dashboard curved around the driver, filled with oval dials and toggle switches that looked like something from a spacecraft. Deeply contoured seats and thick carpeting created an atmosphere closer to a luxury lounge than a sports car. Noise insulation was exceptional. At highway speeds, the cabin was a calm cocoon of motion. This serenity was part of Citroën's Grand Tourer philosophy. Speed without strain, performance without aggression. The SM embodied that ideal completely. But innovation comes at a price. The Citroën SM 1970 was a complex machine with systems few mechanics understood. The combination of French hydraulics and Italian engineering required maintenance precision rare outside specialist workshops. In its early years, owners praised its comfort and design but began to experience reliability issues that stemmed from the car's sophisticated systems. The Maserati V6, while smooth and capable, demanded careful tuning and timing chain maintenance. Hydro-pneumatic suspension components required specialized fluid and tools. For buyers accustomed to simpler cars, the SM's brilliance could feel intimidating. Yet, despite its complexity, the Citroën SM 1970 captivated the automotive press. It won Motor Trend's Car of the Year in 1972, the first and only time a French car achieved that honor. Journalists celebrated its handling, speed, and unmatched ride quality. Even in America, where Citroën was a niche presence, the SM found admirers among architects, musicians, and design enthusiasts drawn to its avant-garde character. To own one was to make a statement. You valued innovation over conformity. However, global circumstances soon began to shift. The early 1970s saw rising fuel prices, stricter emissions regulations, and economic uncertainty. Citroën, already stretched financially by its technological ambitions, faced mounting pressure. The SM, with its high cost and specialized service needs, became a victim of timing. For all its vision, the world around it was turning practical. Citroën's resources were thinning, and maintaining Maserati proved unsustainable. In 1975, production of the Citroën SM came to an end, marking the close of an extraordinary but brief chapter in automotive history. What remained, however, was the legend of what the Citroën SM 1970 represented. It was not just a car but a declaration of faith in innovation. Citroën believed that comfort, control, and beauty could coexist in harmony, and the SM proved that vision possible. Even in its challenges, the car embodied the courage to experiment, to merge cultures and ideas in pursuit of progress. That legacy would ripple through future generations of automotive design, reminding engineers that true advancement often comes from daring to be misunderstood. The Citroën SM 1970 became a symbol of what happens when ambition meets artistry in the open roads language. When the Citroën SM 1970 first reached the public, it stood as a confident symbol of engineering optimism. It seemed as though every element of its design had been pulled from the future, each component carefully tuned to deliver an experience no rival could match. Yet as owners began to live with it, reality started to test that confidence. The Citroën SM 1970 was never meant for ordinary maintenance. It demanded a level of precision that few service networks could provide. Its intricate hydraulic systems and Maserati-sourced V6 required exact procedures, specialized fluids, and tools that most garages lacked. Citroën had imagined a seamless fusion of power and refinement, but the brand underestimated how fragile that balance could be outside controlled conditions. The hydro-pneumatic suspension worked beautifully when maintained perfectly, yet any lapse in upkeep led to unpredictable behavior. The steering, with its self-centering system, could feel alien to those expecting conventional feedback. Even the car's aerodynamic body, designed for efficiency, became a challenge for repairs due to its unique glass and complex curves. These were not faults of design intent, but of practical execution in a market not yet ready to support such sophistication. For Citroën, the Citroën SM 1970 was an investment in a philosophy. Technology should elevate human comfort, not complicate it. But that philosophy collided with a world shifting toward standardization. In the early 1970s, global automakers were learning that cost efficiency, reliability, and simplicity often triumphed over technical brilliance. The oil crisis of 1973 struck hard, suddenly making fuel economy a higher priority than ride comfort or futuristic design. The Citroën SM 1970, though relatively efficient for its power, was seen as indulgent in a time of restraint. Potential buyers hesitated, and dealers struggled to justify its complexity. Despite these challenges, enthusiasts who experienced the Citroën SM 1970 firsthand described it as transformative. At speed, it felt unshakably stable, gliding over uneven highways while remaining poised through sweeping curves. The car's front-wheel drive layout, unusual for a high-performance GT, gave it impressive traction and balance. Its hydro-pneumatic suspension allowed it to sit lower at speed, reducing drag and improving handling. Inside, the driver felt isolated from vibration and road noise, experiencing motion as something smooth and continuous rather than mechanical. This sensation was so distinct that once someone understood the car's rhythm, few others could compare. The engineering behind the Citroën SM 1970 systems remains remarkable even today. Its suspension was fully self-leveling, with pressure accumulators adjusting ride height instantly as loads changed. The steering system's variable assistance was purely mechanical hydraulic, using no electronics yet managing to provide adaptive feedback decades before that became common. The braking system, with its pressure-sensitive control, allowed precise modulation that rewarded finesse over force. Together, these elements made the SM one of the most technically advanced cars ever sold to the public in its era. Yet, for all its intelligence, the Citroën SM 1970 could not escape the economics of maintenance. In France and Italy, some service centers adapted, but in export markets like the United States, part scarcity and unfamiliarity hurt its reputation. Owners who failed to perform meticulous upkeep often faced expensive breakdowns. Citroën's warranty programs struggled to absorb the cost of complex repairs, and resale values suffered. What had been introduced as a symbol of prestige began to develop an image of fragility, unfairly overshadowing the car's genuine engineering achievements. Still, the Citroën SM 1970 held a certain allure that transcended logic. Its sleek profile, the subtle hum of its engine, and the feeling of floating at high speed gave it a mystique unmatched by conventional cars. It became a favorite among creative minds, architects, musicians, and avant-garde designers who valued uniqueness over convention. The car's aesthetic, a seamless blend of elegance and innovation, mirrored the cultural energy of early 1970s Europe. To drive one was to make a statement of belief in progress, even when that belief demanded compromise. Within Citroën's own ranks, the Citroën SM 1970 had both admirers and critics. Some engineers saw it as the ultimate expression of the brand's ethos. Others viewed it as a costly distraction from core models. Financially, the SM placed strain on Citroën's already tight budgets. The company's merger with Peugeot in 1975 effectively ended the era of experimental luxury cars. Maserati was sold off, and with it went the cross-cultural dream that had created the SM. The final units rolled off the line quietly, their brilliance dimmed by circumstance rather than lack of merit. Even after production ceased, the Citroën SM 1970 remained a benchmark for what could be achieved when design led the process rather than cost-cutting. It embodied a kind of creative bravery that has since become rare in mass automotive manufacturing. In retrospect, its flaws appear less as failures and more as growing pains of innovation. It tried to compress too many firsts into one machine. Adaptive steering, self-leveling suspension, aerodynamic efficiency, and cross-national engineering collaboration. Few companies have attempted so much at once since. Collectors and restorers today see the Citroën SM 1970 not as a burden but as a masterpiece of mechanical artistry. Each functioning example is a testament to craftsmanship and persistence. When properly maintained, its systems remain capable of performing exactly as designed. Specialists have learned the intricacies that once confounded dealers, and modern materials have solved many of the reliability issues that plagued early examples. As a result, surviving SMs now enjoy a reputation for refined driving unmatched by most contemporaries. Ultimately, the Citroën SM 1970 tells a story about ambition in motion. It was conceived during a time when carmakers believed in progress as an art form, when engineering was driven by imagination rather than market surveys. Its existence challenges the idea that success must always be measured in sales numbers. The SM proved that daring ideas could find life in metal and glass, even if the world was not yet ready to accept them. To drive it was to experience an ideal, and that ideal continues to inspire those who believe that automobiles can be more than transportation. The Citroën SM 1970 remains an enduring reminder that true innovation is never easy, but it always leaves a mark. By the time the Citroën SM 1970 faded from showrooms, its influence had already begun to seep quietly through the industry. Though few manufacturers dared to replicate its level of complexity, many borrowed its spirit. The SM's marriage of comfort and precision inspired a new way of thinking about long-distance driving. It showed that performance could be elegant, that speed did not have to come at the expense of serenity. The The Citroën SM 1970 became a reference point for engineers searching for balance between mechanical efficiency and emotional experience. Citroën's design team viewed the Citroën SM 1970 as a culmination of everything the brand had stood for since the traction avant. That early front-wheel drive pioneer had redefined traction and stability. The DS had transformed comfort and safety. The SM extended those ideas into the realm of grand touring. Each innovation built on the last, forming a lineage of progress that few automakers could match. Even though financial pressures forced Citroën to retreat from such experimentation, the lessons learned from the SM continued to inform the company's approach to ride dynamics and design philosophy for decades to come. The Citroën SM 1970 also carried cultural significance beyond engineering. In its prime, it was seen as a symbol of intellectual luxury, appealing to those who valued sophistication over ostentation. It represented European modernism in motion, a sculptural object that reflected the optimism of its time. The car's presence in art exhibitions and design retrospectives underscored how far it had transcended its role as mere transportation. Where most cars aged into nostalgia, the SM aged into mythology, its lines still futuristic even half a century later. Technically, the Citroën SM 1970 introduced systems that prefigured much of today's automotive technology. Variable steering assistance, self-leveling suspensions, aerodynamic optimization, and integrated driver ergonomics are now commonplace. Yet in 1970 they were visionary. Engineers today study the SM not as a curiosity, but as a genuine milestone. Its solutions to problems of stability and comfort remain relevant, especially in an era increasingly dominated by electronic controls. The SM accomplished these feats with purely mechanical and hydraulic logic, a testament to human ingenuity before the digital revolution. Yet, there was always a human dimension to the Citroën SM 1970 story. Behind every innovation stood individuals who believed that a car could feel alive, who wanted machines to express beauty and intelligence simultaneously. Robert Opron, the designer, approached the project with sculptural precision, believing the car's shape should communicate its function. The engineers who adapted the Maserati V6 spent countless hours perfecting the balance between vibration control and response. Their dedication produced not just a machine but an experience that blurred the line between art and engineering. For owners, the Citroën SM 1970 created an intimate relationship. It rewarded those who cared for it properly, demanding understanding and patience rather than routine. Each component, from the high-pressure hydraulic pump to the centralized steering valve, reflected meticulous thought. Driving it well required a sense of rhythm. Steering inputs had to be deliberate, braking subtle, and throttle smooth. Those who mastered it discovered a flow that no other car could replicate. In that sense, the SM wasn't simply a product to be consumed, it was a partnership to be maintained. As decades passed, the Citroën SM 1970 achieved cult status. Car enthusiasts, historians, and collectors began to re-evaluate its significance, recognizing that its limited success had more to do with context than capability. Specialists around the world revived dormant examples, developing expertise that restored the SM's reputation for refinement. The internet era accelerated this rediscovery, connecting communities dedicated to preserving its legacy. What once was misunderstood became celebrated as a pinnacle of analog innovation, a car that embodied the idea of being too advanced for its time. Economically, the Citroën SM 1970 was a lesson in the cost of innovation. Citroën's heavy investment in research and development strained finances, ultimately contributing to the merger that ended its independence. But in hindsight, the SM's value extends beyond balance sheets. It demonstrated that technological risk is essential for progress. The boundaries it pushed in the 1970s laid groundwork for features now considered standard in luxury vehicles. The industry quietly absorbed its ideas, even as Citroën paid the price for pioneering them first. Visually, the Citroën SM 1970 remains strikingly modern. Its proportions, tapering body, and glass-covered headlights still look contemporary, especially when compared to the angular designs that followed in the late 1970s. The cabin's layout, with its wraparound dashboard and oval gauges, anticipated ergonomic principles that would become mainstream years later. Every detail served a purpose, from airflow management to driver concentration. It was a car designed with a holistic mindset, one that considered form, function, and emotion as inseparable. Collectors today view the Citroën SM 1970 as one of the most rewarding restorations in classic motoring. When fully sorted, it delivers a sensation unmatched by modern equivalents. Its combination of hydraulic suspension, precise steering, and aerodynamic stability provides an experience both serene and exhilarating. Owning one is not about practicality, but about participating in a living chapter of automotive art. Each restored example serves as evidence that even the most complex visions can endure when passion sustains them. Ultimately, the Citroën SM 1970's impact reaches beyond the car itself. It stands as a metaphor for creative courage. It reminds designers and engineers that the pursuit of perfection often involves risk, misunderstanding, and failure before recognition. The SM's legacy endures not because it sold in great numbers, but because it captured the essence of progress, an unrelenting desire to make tomorrow's technology real today. Its story is one of persistence, innovation, and the beauty of daring to lead rather than follow. The Citroën SM 1970 is remembered today not simply as a vehicle but as a statement of possibility. In an industry often driven by caution, it dared to imagine the road as something more than a surface to travel on. It turned the act of driving into an exploration of sensation, a test of how comfort and precision could coexist without compromise. Few cars before or since have so completely embodied the belief that technology should serve emotion as much as function. The Citroën SM 1970 remains one of those rare machines that changes the way people think about what a car can be. Looking back, it is clear that the Citroën SM 1970 was both ahead of its time and shaped by it. The early 1970s were a moment of optimism in design, where art, architecture, and engineering intersected in bold new ways. The SM captured that spirit perfectly. Its sculpted form, advanced suspension, and seamless integration of mechanical and aesthetic thinking reflected the confidence of a generation unafraid to experiment. At the same time, its downfall mirrored the fragility of that optimism when confronted by economic pressures and shifting priorities. The SM story is not one of failure but of context. It succeeded at being extraordinary in a world that suddenly preferred ordinary. For Citroën, the Citroën SM 1970 marked the end of an era of unfettered innovation. Afterward, the brand's designs became more pragmatic, its experiments more cautious. Yet, the DNA of the SM never disappeared. Elements of its hydro-pneumatic system influenced Citroën's later models for decades. Its focus on aerodynamic form guided future design language. Even its cross-disciplinary spirit, combining art, technology, and comfort, became a reference point for how French automotive culture would continue to distinguish itself from more conventional global trends. Among collectors, the Citroën SM 1970 holds a revered position not because it is perfect, but because it represents purity of intent. It was engineered from a place of belief, not calculation. That authenticity has allowed it to age gracefully, gaining appreciation as both an engineering artifact and a cultural icon. At classic car events, its silhouette still stops people in their tracks. Its smooth, almost liquid profile contrasts with the angular lines of its contemporaries. It feels less like an old car and more like a prototype that never lost relevance. What makes the Citroën SM 1970 timeless is its duality. It is both mechanical and poetic, both ambitious and vulnerable. Every innovation within it, steering, suspension, aerodynamics, was created not to impress but to solve real human problems. Fatigue, control, stability. That empathy in engineering is what sets the SM apart. It was designed for people who wanted travel to feel effortless, who saw driving as an art of motion rather than a display of power. In that way, the SM was as much a philosophy as it was a machine. Today, the Citroën SM 1970 invites reflection on what the automotive world might have been if more manufacturers had shared Citroën's courage. It challenges modern design to recapture the same harmony of innovation and beauty without fear of complexity. As technology continues to evolve, with electric propulsion and autonomous systems redefining mobility, the SM's legacy feels more relevant than ever. It reminds us that progress without passion risks becoming sterile. True advancement happens when creativity and purpose move together. In the end, the Citroën SM 1970's greatest achievement may be emotional rather than technical. It inspires awe not only for what it accomplished but for what it dared to attempt. It is a reminder that even in a world of constraints, there is always room for vision. For those who encounter one, Whether parked silently or gliding down a road, it still radiates that unmistakable aura of the future. The Citroën SM 1970 remains proof that some ideas, though born in the past, never truly age.